Yeah, Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday and was an epic fail. You know we're in Canada because
A boot. Not a boot.
Sorry. Hey, it's Jeff with Trail Trash. Back in the garage today. Yeah, Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday and was an epic fail. It's gonna be a short video today because I think the weather's good. I think I'm gonna take the DRZ and go for a ride and get out of the garage for a bit to clear my head. I think in the last video I said we were going to tackle the exhaust in the next video, and the next video is never going to happen because I lost footage. I started to film the exhaust removal, and I ran into a snag with the right-hand pipe, and I turned the camera off, and I thought I turned it back on again once I got the pipe separated, but I don't know. And then something messed up because it wasn't the camera, it was something I did on the computer. So I think I was moving some footage around, unloading the memory card, and I think I dumped the exhaust footage in the recycle bin instead of some other footage that I meant to get rid of. It was some footage for the ride, the external mic audio test ride that came out terrible. So I'll just take you around real quick and show you what I did yesterday. And like I said, I think I'm gonna scoot and do a ride and get out of here. So there's the exhausts, and they looked like they were in okay condition, but they're actually a lot worse than they looked once I got up in there underneath there. There's the crossover pipe, if you guys can see that. So I did a little research, and a lot of guys put Harley mufflers on the headers on the Goldwing, and they don't seem to have any problems with not having a crossover pipe. Now I've got some old Triumph mufflers that maybe I'll use. Maybe I'll still chop those and put those back on. I don't know, but I'm probably going to cap the crossover pipe, or I'll go get some piece of exhaust tubing from Canadian Tire and fab something up. There was a couple holes in the headers I had to fix. There's some booger welds there. I didn't want to grind them too smooth and make them too nice, but I had to keep dabbing and dabbing, of course, to keep from blowing through, because it's really easy to do that. Now, if you recall, there was some crazy kind of negative battery terminal coming off here. Not the negative battery terminal, but the previous owner had said at some point the starter had been replaced. So he replaced the starter, or somebody did anyway. It was not this guy I bought it from, but the guy that he got it from. And they had some ground wires. There was like a big nest of them. I think this is them over here. And it was zip tied to the side of the bike. You can kind of see that. And so I wanted to investigate that. So once I got the crash bar off, and once I got the exhaust header off, I had a look at the starter. So I pulled the starter, and one of the bolts is snapped off. So I would say it was not grounding. All right. So one of the exhaust studs was snapped, and I welded a nut to it and was able to get it out after a few tries. So I decided to try to do this one. As you can see, that's an M6. This is an M8. The starter is now grounded. That's the good news. The bad news is I could not get that bolt out. And so I decided to drill it out. And that's when the disaster happened, because I'm an idiot. So as the keen observer will see, there is a nice little oil slick here. So I'm drilling, trying to be careful, thinking I'm being careful, and I'm like, I better stop drilling. Check this hole out, because I don't want to punch through to the inside of the case. So I stopped the drill, pulled the drill bit out, and oil starts to dribble out. So I punched through. It's really a small punch, like I barely nicked her, but I nicked it enough that it doesn't take much for oil to pass through. So, I did what, any idiot would do, and I drilled a little bit bigger, tapped an M8, stuck an M8 in there with a bunch of black RTV. Unfortunately, that didn't help. So whatever. That's enough of my disaster. So I didn't film any of that because after I lost the footage before, I was kind of mad. I probably shouldn't have been doing that in the state of mind I was in. I rushed things. And that's what happens when you rush stuff. We all make mistakes. So the proper way to do this would either be to take the bike or take the engine out of the bike and take it to a welder. I don't weld aluminum here. I don't have a TIG set up with the right gas. So it would be to take it to a welder, have it welded up, like really clean it up well, really good. Drain the oil or leave the engine on the side so the oil all goes to one side, and get it really nice and clean. Have it welded up, re-drilled and tapped for M6. That would be the right way to do it. But of course, I'm an idiot, so I might as well just keep being an idiot. So I think what I'm really going to do is slap some JB weld at the bottom of that drilled hole. And I'll run that screw back into the JB weld and leave her. Yeah, so I think, obviously I'm not going to run the screw into the bolt into the JB weld, because that bolt will never come out of there again. But I think what I'll do is set the bike on its side, put the crash bar back on that side, I'll put the bike on its side, I'll clean it up real good, and set the JB weld and let her sit for 24 hours. Put the bike back up, see if it'll hold oil. If it holds oil, the bolt's going to go back in, the starter will stay on there, and I've seen that kind of repair last for years, and we'll see what happens. Eventually, maybe if the bike gets stripped for a real restoration, like a frame up, paint job and stuff like that, then at that point, when the engine comes out, we'll have it repaired properly. I don't know what kind of mess that'll make, trying to weld that up with JB Weld in there. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm not going to film that because, like I said, I'm just going to try to get this done quickly as I can. Go for a ride, and we'll let this sit, and we'll check on it probably tomorrow. But I'm really discouraged from yesterday, and yeah, just anyway, we all make those kind of mistakes, and I made a big boo-boo yesterday. So that's it, just a short one for today. And if there's any further updates, I'll turn you back on and give you guys an update. Hey, it's the next day from the last update. So JB welded the hole, let it cure overnight. And if you can see that right there. So we let it dry overnight, 24 hours, and no leaks. I put the bike back up on the kickstand, so definitely oil is over there. We're not getting leaks. Now comes the decision. Do I want to drill that hole out and retap it, and risk nicking that again, or hitting an air bubble that's in the JB weld? I may let sleeping dogs lie there, but we got to find another way to attach the starter. So it's got one bolt holding it on, but that's not enough. I mean, even though that's what was on there before, and it was, yeah. But I don't want to go back to that ground strap idea either. So I don't know whether it wasn't grounding through that one bolt. Yeah, so we may try to find an alternate method of attaching that rear part, whether I'm actually thinking about maybe using another bolt and making a bracket off that bolt and to hold down the back of the starter. So I don't know. I'm going to think about it and see what I can come up with. I yeah, so I'll check back in with you guys, give you an update anyway when I come up with a solution. All right, well, as you can see, decided to drill and tap. I didn't dare go too big, so I went with an M5, but I did get in there pretty good. And I Loctited it, put a washer. Most of the stress is being put on that front bolt anyway, plus the starting gear kind of locks that front in there. So the rear bolt just really needs to stabilize it. But as you can see, it's grounded, it's starting okay. The header pipes just got a coat of high temp black. I'm just cooking them in a little bit. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the exhaust yet, but I just want to give you guys a quick update that I'm feeling better. So now I'm going to leave it and let it cool down and make sure that there's no oil leaking out of that JB weld hole. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next update. You know we're in Canada because
A boot. Not a boot. Sorry.